Senator Howell. Now, when you're 13, you start hearing a lot of things about sex. You've probably heard about the Utah legislature banning all sex education in schools, except for teaching about abstinence. I mean, really, have you ever seen those guys? After a good look, who wouldn't want to practice abstinence? I'd be willing to bet that their wives are completely abstinent. I'd be willing to bet that they were completely abstinent in high school and a long time after that. Can you ever imagine a girl saying, "I want to do it with him"? Now, the legislature has convinced me that the state needs a new liquor law. No liquor for these guys. They think safe sex is bad, guns at the U of U are good, and love four-wheeling through fragile wilderness areas. Their judgment is already dangerously impaired. I don't know if you've heard, but these guys want everyone to have guns. Yeah, you can tell they never had a stepmother. I've talked it over with the other kids. If the stepmothers get guns, we want grenades. So, I've been listening to what the Republicans have been saying. And have you ever noticed that they don't like a lot of people? So I've been keeping track and making this list. You may have noticed, but Republicans don't seem to have much respect for women. And you know what they think about gays. They don't seem very fond of Hispanics. Kick them out and build a fence. And they aren't very fond of gray hairs, unless they're on their own head. So after making this list, I wondered, who do they like? So I finally found the answer. Republicans really, really, really love rich, white men. So I've just finished the 7th grade, where we did research paper after research paper. And during that time, Wikipedia was my best friend. So I Wikipedia'd Senator Hatch, and this is what I found. In 1976, in Senator Hatch's first run for public office, he was elected to the United States Senate, defeating Democrat Frank Moss, a 3-term incumbent. Among other issues, Hatch criticized Moss's 18-year session in the Senate by saying, "What do you call a senator who served 18 years? You call him home." That's not a bad joke, but if good jokes made you senator, I'd be Senator Zoomey. So what do you call a senator who served 36 years? A stain that can't be removed. So the first thing I think of when I think of things that are old is my dad. I'm not saying he is old, but when my dad was a kid, Republicans still had brains. People didn't know how to text, and gays didn't have any pride. They actually lived in closets. Now, I'm too polite to call Senator Hatch old, but when he was a kid, Moses had the locker next to him. Senator Hatch has served in the Senate so long that in history class, we learned about 3 ages. The Iron Age, the Industrial Age, and the Hatch Age. But I can't remember which is the longest. Okay, movie quiz. What was the hottest movie in 1976 when Senator Hatch was first elected? What about the Rocky Horror Picture Show? What we didn't know is that it was also the start of the Rocky Mountain Horror Show. I mean, I respect Senator Hatch's age. It's just that he needs some advice that kids like me get all the time. What my parents would have told Senator Hatch if he were their kid in junior high and started hanging around at the Tea Party is, 1, don't try to fit in with the wrong crowd. 2, bad company corrupts good morals. And 3, remember when it's someone else's turn. By the way, have you ever looked at Dan? No? I try not to, too. He's scary. strategist. But don't you think Hatch should put up some signs of his own saying, "Can't stand Dan," or "Get rid of Dan while you can"? Or my personal favorite, "Be a man, Dan. Use your last name."
That's great.
One last thing. The 6 scariest things to a 13-year-old girl. Number 6, a spider running across your face in the middle of the night. Number 5, your Mormon grandmother wanting you to come to sacrament meeting. 4, talking to a hot guy in your class. 3, becoming a social threat to the most popular girl in school. I'd rather fall in a snake pit. 2, your stepmother on her period. And 1, 6 more years of Senator Hatch. I'll be 19 when the horror ends. And I thank you for being such a good audience, and yay, Senator Howell.
Scott, don't go away.
Don't go away, Scott.
Okay. Sorry about
Ladies and
that.
gentlemen, our friend Scott Howell.
Someday you'll be on Saturday Night Live. Right now. So, well, first of all, thank you all very much for coming tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. I want to introduce my good friend and our host, Greg Neville, who owns the Let me tell you just a little bit about Greg. If you've ever eaten here, you've seen on his menu